So Jurassic World finally came out last weekend, and it was my most anticipated movie of the year. And so far, it's the most successful movie of the year. In fact, it's the biggest opening of all time. And that makes me very happy because that means more Jurassic Park franchise stuff. This movie takes place about 20 years after the first Jurassic Park. And I believe it was said they're ignoring Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. I guess mainly because of the San Diego thing, because if people knew about that, I know nobody would go to the park. In the first movie, it was kind of contained and nobody knew about the park outside of the island. But in this movie, the whole world knows about it and everybody wants to visit it. It's like a modern-day zoo or aquarium. And it's really fun to see Jurassic World actually working. One of the Jurassic Park games I played a lot was Operation Genesis, where you could make your own Jurassic Park. So to see the park actually functioning was actually really exciting for me. But with like a lot of theme parks, people want more out of them. So the people up top decided, hey, let's make a bigger, more dangerous dinosaur that will be more exciting for the public. A dinosaur that actually never existed. It's pretty much a Frankenstein of dinosaurs. And it's called the Indominus Rex, and I was skeptical about it at first of whether this would actually be like a good sort of like monster for the movie. But it's actually pretty terrifying. They actually borrow one of the things that was in the Lost World book, in the fact that it can actually camouflage itself, since the Carnotaurus from that could actually camouflage. But for the Indominus Rex is from cuttlefish DNA, and it has a bunch of other DNA spliced into it. And this movie is definitely a monster movie. It plays out like one, and it knows it's one. It's very self-aware, and it does have a lot of fun with it. There are some jokes about that sort of hit, but I'm not sure if they'll hit for everyone, but it definitely hit for me. Going into this movie, I was afraid that a lot of the big moments were ruined by the trailers, and that they gave away too much. But fortunately, there are still a lot of big oh shit moments in this movie, and some very violent and gruesome deaths. I'm kinda surprised this is PG-13. I can only imagine what an R-rated Jurassic Park movie would be like. Now, a lot of people are comparing this to the first and how it plays out and whatnot, but this movie will never be the first. None of the sequels will be the first. But with that said, Jurassic World feels like its own beast. They do a lot of references to the first movie during this one scene, but for the most part, this is really its own thing. And one thing that's very different from the first couple of movies is that most of the dinosaurs are in the daylight, and the CG does look pretty good. And in fact, there are a couple of animatronics in this movie. Not as quite as many as I would like, but still I'm glad that they had them in there. I saw this movie in 3D and the action scenes and all the scenes with the dinosaurs look really great. Especially this one particular scene, which has been sort of controversial of how it played out because it seemed a little cruel. Honestly, I think there might be a scene missing to where we want that to happen, but still, it's an awesome shot that looks cool in 3D. I was unfortunately not able to see it in D-Box because I was in Minnesota where I could actually see it in D-Box, but it was sold out. And there are no D-Box theaters near me, so instead I'm going to go see it in IMAX this weekend, because my dad hasn't seen it and I definitely want to see it again. I loved Chris Pratt in the movie, and I'm glad he signed on for a couple more movies, which I'm super hyped that they're actually going to do that. I love the raptors, I love the mosasaur, I love the Indominus Rex even, and of course the ending scene is really ridiculous. Yeah, it's kinda stupid and fan servicey, but it's awesome! I will admit this movie is a little dumb, and it's definitely scientifically inaccurate like all the Jurassic Park movies, but I don't care. Dinosaurs. Jurassic Park. It's awesome. So before I end this video, I'm going to tell you a little story that happened before we went to go see the movie. So while my friend Saber and I were in the Mall of America, a few hours before the showing, we went to the Lego store. And they had this display case there of the Lego Jurassic World toys. So Saber went up to it and lightly put his hand over the top of the display case. But it was loose and it fell down and broke the Legos apart. So he just froze with his face like this. And then he said, it's alright, Jurassic Park is supposed to go wrong. Unfortunately, our friend Race wasn't there to record it because he always records when we're at conventions, but that's probably one of the funniest moments we've had, like, hanging out at a con. It's just too bad it wasn't on camera. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Jurassic World. I loved it, obviously. If you saw Jurassic World, tell me what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I'd like to give thanks to all of my patrons this month. Your pledge really means a lot, so thank you. And if you'd like to become a patron, click the annotation. And if you want to see more video game stuff, click on the playlist. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.